Hey guys, Jared with Mediocre Fit here. Today I'm going to do an informational video over Fat Loss 101. I have 7 basic principles for this, and you might be thinking, what gives Jared the credentials and the experience to tell me how to lose weight? I cannot tell you that I have any whatsoever. What I can tell you is I have tons of knowledge and tons of research and tons of studies to back up everything that I say. I have been doing this for over 4 years, so just bear with me. This video might be lengthy. If you don't like that, just let me know. If you like short, sweet, to the point, I can do that too. But I feel as though for you to be able to get the quality that you need and the assurance and the research to back it up, I need to be able to provide that for you and also give you reasons as to why that is and why that is not. And that is what I like to do. Go in depth, go into detail, tell you guys everything you need to know. So without further ado, let's get into it. First topic to cover, caloric deficits. If you want to lose fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. It doesn't matter which and if or but about it. You have to be in a caloric deficit. What is a caloric deficit? For people that don't know anything about calories or macros or anything like that, I'm going to get into everything about that to give you everything you need to know for basics. Caloric deficits are anything that is below what your total daily energy expenditure is. I will put a link down in the description as far as your BMR and also as far as your TDEE. A BMR is a basal metabolic rate. That is a rate of what if you did nothing but laid in bed all day and just breathed. That is the metabolic rate at which your body burns calorically by itself for its functions to be able to survive. The TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. That is what you do throughout the day physically, combined with your BMR, gives you your total daily energy expenditure. What those usually are like, say, you take a multiple of 1.25 to 1.5. That's usually what the realm of everybody does. Whether it's a sedentary job or whether you are a construction worker out there, you have a physical job, your body has to be there physically demanding, so you need X amount of calories to be able to maintain your weight and maintain your muscular skeleton, also your body fat, everything of that sorts. What I like to say, and a good recommendation, is do not go below 25% on your caloric deficit. Do not do any more than that whatsoever. Any more than that and you go above what a mild starvation is, and your body starts to go into the starvation mode, and it can also temporarily impair your metabolism, and it's not a good idea. So what I like to do is say 25%, that's a good number. So I start off there pretty much. Like right now, with my fat loss that I'm doing right now to get ready for my competition, I'm doing 25% of a caloric deficit, and that's right at 2,200 calories right now. And what I'm running is 40% protein, 35% carb, and 25% fat is what my calorie makeup is. Now, for every gram of protein, you have 4 calories. The same goes for carbohydrates. For every gram of carbohydrate, you have 4 calories. For every gram of fat, you have 9. The reasons for this is because the body sees the protein and carbs as it takes a lot of energy for them to digest and put them to the cells for energy, for protein synthesis. For all of these reasons, it sees those two as hard to digest, unlike fat. Fat is the easiest to digest, it's the easiest to go through. Fat, any extra, it goes to your extra storages in your body where your body fat increases. It goes through all of those processes, but it's super easy. So that's the reason why it uses 9 calories per gram. The main topic I want to be able to touch on here for that is the kitchen is where fat loss matters most. What I'm saying is you cannot out-exercise a bad diet whatsoever. Studies, researches Everything has been put into play on that to be able to see if it was possible. Steve Cook even did a video. He did the 10,000 calorie challenge where he ate 10,000 calories in a day, then followed that up with the 10,000 calorie burn challenge where he tried to exercise and deplete and expel 10,000 calories throughout the day. He fell short. That's pretty obvious, but the reasons he did that for a study of his own was just to see and also to prove a point, saying it doesn't matter how much you do throughout the day, your body can only do so much. You can shove everything you want down your gullet and eat as much as you want throughout the day and put all kinds of energy in there, but you can only expend and expel so much energy, which is where the negative energy balance comes into play as far as fat loss goes, which is also, studies have been done where this professor has also, he ate Twinkies, he ate a bunch of calorically dense foods that were low in micronutrients and low in everything, but they were high in fat, high in carb, but he still stayed in a caloric deficit. And the research came out that yes, he still lost weight. And the reason for that is because he was in a caloric deficit. Not because of anything else, but because of that. And a caloric deficit is what regulates fat loss just in general. It's the basic key. That's the reason why I keep hammering on it, keep telling you guys, caloric deficit is where it's at. It doesn't matter what you do. These fad diets out there that are very bad for you, but the reason why they work and they work so fast is because they restrict so many micronutrients and so many nutrients in general and macros. That's the reason why. There's like this military diet out there that has you doing no more than 1,000 calories a day. And yes, of course you're going to lose weight. Yes, of course you're going to lose up to 7 to 10 pounds in a week or whatever it is, because you're in so much of a caloric deficit that you're going to lose that and your body goes into starvation mode. But what people don't understand is you're not just losing fat in that. You're losing water, you're losing muscle, you're losing some fat, but your body can only lose so much fat in one time. That's the reason why your body goes through this whole process to lose fat before it even can. And that's the reason why it depletes glycogen storages through your liver and your muscles. It depletes water. It depletes everything else before it goes there, because that fat is there for survival, essentially. That's what your body sees it as, essential. So it holds on to that for as long as it can until it has to go and uses that fat for energy. That's the reason why fad diets are so bad. They also, you get constipation, diarrhea, you get dizziness, you lose consciousness, you deplete yourself of these key micronutrients that you need, vitamins that you need, minerals that you need, and they're also just not sustainable. When you look at a diet, you want to look at a diet for sustainability. What can you actually do for the long haul, not for the short haul? Because more than likely, if you do something for the short haul, what's going to happen is you're just going to rebound back and you're going to be in even worse condition than what you were then before that. That's just the body reacting to the diet in itself. And yes, people binge, and yes, people bounce back, they fall off. That's part of a diet, yes, but when you do fad diets, it's even worse, just because of the interaction with them, how severe they are, how much of a deficit that they put you in. Your body just can't sustain that. It's not sustainable. And that's the reason why there's so many bad side effects. Leptin levels go up a lot. NEAT levels go down. And it's not a good idea. And for that, I strongly advise against fad diets whatsoever. If you want to do any type of good diet, I suggest IIFYM. That's if it fits your macros. You have these percentages of macros. I have this macro calculator up here. I'll throw it on the screen for you guys. That way you guys can also see it. I'll put the link down in the description. That way you guys can go to it. It'll basically just give you a basic set on what your height, weight, sex, and it'll pull out I think four types of diets, which is like a basic, you have a low carb, you have a low fat, you also have a high protein, and it can go for, if say like you don't like a lot of protein, It has that. If you don't like a lot of fat, it has that type of macro disbursement up there. It's just all in all good for you. And I suggest IIFYM because you're not doing the bro diet, perhaps, like, just eat chicken all day, eat rice all day. That's all you have. Well, of course you're going to lose weight through that. Those foods are so undense and they're so low in calories, but they're so high in, say, like chicken is high in protein, yes, but it's so low in calories in itself that when you eat that much, you're going to get sick of it for one, and you're not going to stand it, which is why when you come off of that, eating clean, people typically bounce back just as if it is a fad diet, and they do bounce off of that and rebound and get an even worse part than what they were, because they restricted themselves so much that their body craved that bad stuff that they were not getting, that they just crave that and they go through it and they bound through it, and it's a whole bad thing. What I like to do for myself is a type of diet that I can sustain and that is also satiable to me, but is also something that I can enjoy to the point of where I have these cravings that I cannot have. So I'm going to binge, I'm going to fall off the wagon and just totally corrupt myself and destroy myself, and all the gains, all the losses I was getting, they're gone now. So just IIFYM is a good one. That's probably the best one because you can have the goods and the bads. As long as it fits into your macros, you can have it. That's basically the point. You plan throughout the day to know where you're set at. That way you can fit it in for whether you're going to have this big meal at night. You can plan for that, eating light throughout the day. Or if you know I can do this, you're going to have a big lunch or something like that, and it works. It just works. What I also do with that is I also suggest to clients that I have, stuff like that, I suggest saying intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a good key for me. It may not be for some people. Some people wake up in the morning and after they get ready, 15, 20 minutes after they brush their teeth or whatever, I've got to have something. I'm starving. For me, that's not the case. I can go wait until 12, 1, 2 o'clock throughout the day to have my first meal, no problem. Because if I had something when I really wasn't hungry, why would I have something then? And then when I actually want food, want those calories, I'm starving, then I can't have as much. And for me, that works out best for me because I'm not much of a breakfast person in general. I'm never really that hungry during breakfast. So I can wait out and have, 2 meals for the rest of the day. I can go 16 hours without food and then have this 8-hour eating window and be just fine, no problem. So intermittent fasting, IIFYM, any easy way for you to be able to still getting what you like to eat without restricting yourself so much is the best key for me. And intermittent fasting and IIFYM is those that work for me. That's the reason why I promote them so much. I suggest them so much. It works. It really works, and it's really manageable. Next thing I'm going to touch on is counting macros. MyFitnessPal is a free app. You don't have to get the premium version at all. You can still do everything that you want. You can even put in your own calories. You can put in your own percentages that you want to touch with. I mean, it's very user-friendly. I definitely suggest it. And if you don't know how to count your macros, the first thing I do suggest is buy a scale. If you buy a scale, you can weigh everything through grams, through fluid ounces, through weighted ounces. They're the exact same thing, but for some reason the scale gives those two options. I suggest getting a scale first because then you can weigh stuff. I know people say it's very tedious. It is to start out with. I will agree with that. But the thing is, if you have goals set in mind and you have willpower, you're going to do those little things because those little things are what matters the most. And honestly, getting a scale out, maybe scanning a barcode on MyFitnessPal, doing those things maybe take 5 to 10 minutes out of the day. It's not that big of a deal when you look at it in the big scheme of things. Doing those little things are what's going to matter the most in your stuff. The little things are what matters, and that's the big thing to know. So counting macros for sure. That way, go to that calculator that I said previously. Go to that, get a good basis, then go from there. Work your numbers. Go to first 1 to 2 weeks, see how it works, and go from there. It's always a good thing to do. I mean, it's all in the best interest for your health, so just do it. Buy a scale, do MyFitnessPal, do whatever app works for you. I mean, there's tons of them out there, and whatever one works for you, as long as it works for you, it doesn't matter. Also, the number 6 principle, resistance train, for sure. Resistance train. Go in the gym, lift weights. For any women that are listening out there, just know the whole myth behind women get big and bulky. That's a huge myth. If you go in, lift weights, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get big and bulky. The main reason is men have something that you don't as much. We have a lot of testosterone. Free testosterone is what regulates our muscular skeleton. So just know that the reason why men get that way through weight training is because they have a lot of free testosterone running around. Women have a lot of estrogen, have really low testosterone levels, so that's not going to happen. You're going to get more tone, you're going to get more firm, yes, you will gain a little bit of muscle, but also know it's not going to be something that you look like, you're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not going to look like Greg Platt. You're not going to look like Dorian Yates. You're not going to look like these big, huge bodybuilders. It's not realistic at all, and you're not going to be that, women. So just please resistance train, because that is something that is a key that will also regulate and will also speed up your metabolism. That way it will be a lot easier for you to be in a caloric deficit. Doing that with cardio is always a benefit. Cardio is a good thing to do, but cardio throughout time, if you do a lot of just like say a long steady state jogs, after a while you're going to burn up muscle, which is going to slow down your metabolism. And also the last key I want to touch on is, yes, do cardio, but do not overdo it at all. If you can, don't do as much as saying like, I'm gonna go, if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I get that. But if you're just doing it for weight loss in general, don't go 7 days a week, go for hours running. It's just not good and sustainable for your body unless that is your thing and your body is used to that. And you do that for, competitions, running, that's your athletic sport that you like to do. Because the thing is long-term cardio can start to impair NEAT, which is like, say, like the fidgeting and stuff that you see people do. Some people will have those tics. They might tap on the table. They might, just bob their foot up and down. They might fidget. That's NEAT going on. And NEAT is what also regulates your metabolism throughout the day. And after a lot of long-term cardio that you do, eventually your NEAT will start to deplete itself and you won't have as much, which is why your body will sort of impair its metabolism over a while, just because of the fact of it's using that time that NEAT is usually there, is using that for cardio. So your body sees it as trying to save that energy for that time rather than doing it then. And then, you'll hit your fat loss plateaus. You'll hit those plateaus that you will find that it's hard to bust over. And that's the reason why. So if you get in those plateaus and you're like, I'm doing everything right, I'm counting the macros, I'm doing everything, why am I not losing weight? Maybe you should take back that cardio a bit. Maybe you should also take a week off, go on a deload, go on a refeed, go back up to what your maintenance calories are and see what that does. Because more times than not, people like to decrease calories and go even more down, and that's not a good idea. What they might need to do is just go back up to maintenance and also maybe cut down on cardio a little bit, and then they'll bust through their plateaus. And while they're on maintenance, they'll bust through those plateaus, lose some more weight, and then they'll be like, hey, Jared, while I was doing this, I've lost some more weight. And it's like, yeah, of course, because your body goes through this G-flux which also is just it's a whole energy balance type deal where your metabolism will actually go up, and it's a whole idea for another video. But it's just this whole big theory that happens whenever you're in a plateau and you go through that. But they'll contact me and they'll say, Jared, I was in my maintenance, I cut down the cardio a bit, and I've lost some more weight. This is great. And then it'll be time, they feel better after a refeed or something, and then they're back on it, back again. They can do their caloric deficit, they bust through that plateau, and it's all great. And that's where I'm going to wind the video up right there. Those are the 7 basic principles. Your caloric deficit, the kitchen is where fat loss matters most. Spot reducing fat's impossible. Fad diet's a bad idea. Count your macros is a must. Resistance train, that goes for men and women both. It's a great idea. Do it. It's also great for your muscular stability, for stabilization muscles, just for posture in general. It's a great idea. And cardio, but not too much. Those are the 7 basic principles. I hope I helped you guys out a lot. If you like this video, give it a like, smash the subscribe button, leave me a comment, give me any questions you want. If you liked any ideas about training, I can help coach you. Email, I'll put that down in the description below. It's jmays16@gmail.com if you guys are interested in that. Other than that, you guys, that's it for the video today. Fat Loss 101, Mediocre Fit, we're out.